Hi guys, it's D and I'm back like I never left. Okay, this time really gone, really gone. And I am so tired, but counters, that's what I'm gonna call you guys because we're counting memories, okay? We're counting and collecting memories and experiences, so counters. But I think I'm gonna ask. From here, watch this. From here, live your life to the fullest. From here, collect your memories. You a counter. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, I'm still tired. I was actually in Jamaica. I had to go to Jamaica for a funeral. And it so happened that all this vlogging about life in Kingston, it so happened that I ended up flying in through Kingston, which never happens. Like literally the last time I was in Kingston was for that trip that I mentioned in the last vlog. Is your life funny? Because at the time I made that vlog about said no to international trip, like I did not have this other trip planned. It was literally an unexpected loss in the family, and so I went for a funeral. I was there for like 2 weeks. Get it together. I'm on my bike. Multitasking. Yes. I was there for like 2 weeks. And, being in Kingston brought back a lot of memories. A lot of good memories. A lot of, interesting stories. And I was like, should I make this video? And just everything was pointing me in the direction of making this video. Like, first of all, when I was in Jamaica, it was mango season. And I got mangoes from a family friend. I got mangoes from family members. Yeah, like mango was a central theme. Like, I think I had Julie mango and Blackie or common mango when I was there. And then, since I came back now, I was like watching a popular Jamaican YouTuber recently, and he was talking about some life lesson that he got while eating a mango. So I said, why is everything pointing me in the direction of making this video? I guess I have to make this video. And this is a nostalgia channel. These vlogs are about experiences I've had that have stuck with me, so just bear with me. Just bear with me. The video gonna make sense in at the end, right? Hopefully. So, as the video says, be careful who you give your mango. So this story now, I have to tread lightly with this story because number one, I am not the only main character in this story, but I feel like as long as nobody don't step forward and raise them hand or, or squeal, we are good. Like, nobody has to know who the other characters are. You see me? Okay, so basically, another thing that prompted me to do this video was I had seen on IG somebody who follows me, we're mutual, where we follow each other, had posted that 18 to 22 is such a weird age. Because on the one hand, you have some 18 to 22-year-olds who are married or getting married. And then you have some 18 to 22-year-olds who have to ask permission to even be out past their bedtime. So I was like, this is so interesting and this is so true. So then I started to reflect on my life in that period, 18 to 22-year-old. And again, this story, and let me tell you, this story I'm about to tell is a story, how much minutes gone? Such a lead up. This story is a story where whenever I am just bored or stressed or me just want to remember something that gonna just bring me immense joy, this story do it for me. Right? But I just have to think back on this story and it's like me I chuckle to myself. But just I laugh to myself, right? And I don't know. You will see if it's a story worthy of all this build up and all this excitement that I am bringing. that 18 to 22 time of life, like I was a type of girl who was of the mindset that, I'm looking for somebody, a life partner, somebody who I will eventually get married to, right? And I don't know if many other 18 to 22-year-olds were thinking the same way, but basically, my mom got married fairly young, so, girls, they come up and they emulate, their mom. So all in my mind was that, okay, this is my blueprint. I'm gonna find like my forever person and get married young and have my beautiful kids just like my mom. So I was like, in that time period, I was like, okay, nobody, gave me any game plan about how to find a man, right? Nobody gave me any game plan, but me just know, like, it was just my goal that I need to find a man at some point in time if I'm going to get married. Like, man is an essential component if that is the end goal. So, long story short, I was like, I put myself in social circles where, I would be able to meet, as such a man. So, I started to get very involved in church, different things in the community. I would volunteer on the campus, recording like textbooks for the people who are like students who are like visually impaired, be involved, be out there, be active, as involved. So somewhere along the line, this is why I have to tread carefully. In one of these social circles, I'm putting myself out there. But back it all the way up, because before that I have to set the context. So the context of this story is that I had a very close core group of girlfriends. Now, even though I was in like many social circles, I had like a core group of girlfriends who, we were extremely close, like really close, like sisters, basically. And so we were living together at one point in time, so we would move in like, similar social circles. So, one of the girlfriends eventually found a guy that, she was very interested in, like, she saw some potential there, of like a future spouse. The rest of us, like, we didn't have a person who we zeroed in the same way that she had zeroed in on a person. We weren't at that stage yet, right? But we had like a few guys who we were interested in, right? And everybody at this point, mutual friends, like similar social circles. So this friend was so, like, she was that like serious or passionate about getting to know the person. One day when we were talking, we came up with the idea to have a little private dinner. Just one weekend, one evening, have a little private dinner, a little dine, a little schmoozing, but a very targeted dinner, so that she could get to know more about the guy, and also that we could get to know more about the guy and observe like their interactions to see if like it was mutual. Yeah, because I think the guy was giving like mixed signals. He wasn't being, like textbook clear. I'm not sure if it's the same way in Kingston nowadays, but I find that not just in Kingston, but like in any major city, it's very hard to like date and find a good man, because like whenever it's economics, right? Whenever you have like the demand outweighing the supply, you have like all different kind of games. All who expect to be playing games, I play a game, and that was the situation. I think, even if it's mind games, that was the situation. I think it was at the time in Kingston. So it actually wasn't clear. Like, he would do X, Y, and Z to make her believe that he was interested, but then he wasn't really being forthcoming about, you know, what his intentions were. So we're like, okay, let us just, you know, have this dinner, and then we will also, you know, invite a few guys, you know, maybe one or two in there the other girlfriends would have been interested in, and then like we put like two fillers in there to not make it so obvious what this whole dinner was about. You know, you have to have a strategy. And if everybody are playing mind games, you know, you can't go and like, you know, you a monkey hang off a truck back. You have to make it look like, say, you have a little strategy too. So we invited like the guy who she was interested in, I think 2 guys who had potential, and then 2 other guys who were fillers. They're, you know, friends, so it would make it obvious what the intent of the dinner was, and it wouldn't be that awkward. Comment below if you ever experience anything like this, or if you ever try anything like this. And you know what? Looking back on it, a part of the reason why it's so funny is like I don't even know where we got this idea from. Like 18 to 22-year-olds. Like, okay, we weren't 18. I lie. Yes, we were in that age range. I think each one of us really fit that age range, right? So anyway, like this group of girlfriends is like we're the type of people who, if we set our mind to anything, or if we take on a project, if we collaborate, like there is just this level of seriousness, like this military precision to the thing. So even though it was like a dinner, it was no like a KFC situation or a Pizza Hut situation, right? We like sit down and did the menu planning. Like we work out, okay, what you good at cooking? You have to be the best at cooking this, because we're only serving up the best at this dinner. I mean, we were not trying to tie anybody. Like we were not that kind of people. We still are not that kind of people to tie nobody. But like the dishes had to be, you know, it had to be there. It had to be ready, right? So we're like, okay, what you good at making? Okay, I think you're good at making that. You should make that. You should make that. Whatever. So, like, it was, like, the most outlandish menu. Like, not even if you get invited to, like, a wedding or a banquet or a prom or a graduation, you would have had a menu like this. I mean, we had oxtail, because apparently, was it oxtail or stew pork? I don't remember. But apparently we had, like, a dish that this specific guy who inspired the whole dinner, he was obsessed with one of the 2 meats. I don't remember if it was oxtail or if it was pork, but it was like one of the meat there where you could be like, okay, this guy in chest high. But yeah, it was like one of those meats. So like, okay, you good at that, so you are gonna make that. Okay, you can only make fish, you're gonna make your best escovitch fish. Okay, you can only bake chicken, you're gonna bake that chicken to perfection. It was like barbecue chicken. It was like, I can't remember if it was oxtail or stew pork. It was like escovitch fish. I think we ended up doing fried chicken. Of course, had the traditional Jamaican rice and peas, Jamaican coleslaw. We had what I call strong back, but it's not really strong back, which is like carrot juice with guineas and sausage. And I mean, at this point in time, I don't think any of us were working full-time jobs. I think we were all still students, and you know, maybe 2 of us were working part-time while studying. So imagine like a student on a part-time salary, and we have our bills and expenses. These were expensive ingredients. What I'm trying to say, this was no ordinary dinner. So like I said, the drink was like carrot juice, condensed milk, Guinness, supplicant, all the spices. And then added to that, we were like, okay, you know, you can bake. So, you know, you're going to make your best pineapple upside down cake. So we're like, okay, yes. Like, literally. It was so much food, I don't even think we could have laid out all the food on the table at one time. I think it must have been a situation where we were, like, bringing out different dishes at different times. We even had, like, I think we did, like, an appetizer. I think we did soup for the appetizer. We did, potato salad. Like, it was like Christmas. And it wasn't even Christmas time, you know? So, we planned the menu, and then we were like, okay, so, you know, we are going to look our best. Like, we have to have the proper table setting. So we even like consulted our mother with the madness. Looking back on it now, may I call it madness, was at that time we were like women on a mission, like young women on a mission. We were like so serious about the thing. Like, and in terms of like accountability, and okay, you said you're going to do this, this is what you need to do, XYZ time. And so anyway, we consulted our mother, not consulted, we asked her, we briefly like ran the plan by her. And that's why I love my mother so much, you know, God rest her soul, because she didn't judge us or try to like talk us out of our plan. You know, so to this day we don't even know like what her take was on it, if she thought it was, you know, utter rubbish and a waste of time and foolishness or whatever. She didn't try to talk us out of it. As a matter of fact, I think she was tickled, you know, as an adult, that we would be going to this extent. To start laughing at the thing already. So we didn't have like even the basic things like a tablecloth. So we like asked our mother if we could borrow, like, I think it was like a nice red tablecloth that she had. You know, red is a color that's still I cannot. We didn't have like matching cutlery and like enough cutlery, so we even had to like borrow from our mother, like enough cutlery for everybody. And remember I said I'm from the country, and at that time it was like 3 to 4 hours away from Kingston, the city. So we literally had to plan the thing so far in advance so that we had enough time to import these things from country for this dinner. Oh God, we need to be serious in order to tell this story to the end. So anyway, long story short, I don't even know how the invitation process, I don't even remember how the invitation process worked, because that had to have been the most awkward part. I don't remember if like we told these guys in advance, or we kind of like sprung it on them like after like an occasion where we met up, like, oh, you know, you guys can just come over afterwards for dinner. I don't remember how we did it, but we did it because we got the exact guys that we wanted. We got them to come over for dinner, and it was a lovely setting, because where we were renting at the time, like, they had this beautiful garden, like well kept, lots of flowers, you know, lots of greenery. It was like the beautiful, the most romantic setting on a budget that you could possibly imagine. And so we had it was partly outside, because we did the setup on the veranda, or as some of you probably know it as like a patio, but it was like a veranda. It was grilled, you could look out. It was like covered, but you could see, like, you could feel the whole garden experience. So where was I? So the day of the dinner came, right? And I think when they actually came is when they realized that it was like a targeted group. And I guess at first they didn't really like feel awkward, but like as the evening progressed and they realized that it was, you know, just us girls and just them, nobody else was coming, I guess like probably one or two started to be like, okay, so why were we invited? But anyway, it was a lovely dinner. The food was great. You know, we had like, you know, pleasant conversation. It was nothing too deep, nothing confrontational, no outward expressions of anything. You know, we're just talking about different topics, you know, yeah, just like palatable things. So anyway, as the dinner is coming to a close now, and by this time now we would have all been very anxious about this dinner, very concerned that it go perfectly. Like I think we had so many heated moments when we felt like somebody wasn't pulling their end of the task, and like, okay, this dinner is going to be a fail before it even happens type thing. There was like so much heat like leading up to it, and it was like, here's this day, finally we can just like put our hair down and hopefully enjoy the moment and, you collect the information that we need to collect from this dinner. So anyway, when the dinner came to a close, oh, before that, I should say that another reason why it was awkward was that we had other girlfriends who we were like really close with who caught wind of the dinner, and then the fact that they were not invited, that awkwardness also played into the thing. But I already laid out the strategy. Right? It's just simple economics. I already laid out the strategy. We didn't need any extra females, right? Oh God. So anyway, as the dinner is now winding down to a close, right? We've all had a good enough experience with this dinner. So even though we had dessert, like we had pineapple upside down cake and everything. This one girlfriend, I don't know if it was like, it being a euphoric moment that, okay, we pulled off this dinner and, it's going good. Like as a parting gift, it was mango season in Kingston, and then I think there was mango on the property. So she had a few mangoes. So she offered, I don't know to this day why she offered this particular guy. I don't think she was interested in him, like romantically. But I guess probably he was one of those who, like, it was obvious from the conversation that he was probably feeling probably the most awkward, because he was like one of the fillers. He was like one of those that we invited. Like nobody was really interested in him probably. But invited him to, that's part of the strategy. So, she was like offering him one of the mangoes. And I mean, at this point, putting myself in his position, I'm like, it's mango season. If somebody offer me a mango, but if them like me, yes or no, it's neither here nor there. The real question is, do I like mango? That is the only determining factor whether or not I take this mango. But I think this guy was like, it was like such an awkward experience for him. He was like, oh no. No, oh no. Like he would not even touch that mango with a long stick. It's almost as if the way we felt, it was like if he took this mango, it would be like he's entered into some contract to take somebody's hand in marriage. Like that was literally the vibe that we got from that whole, the way he declined. I shouldn't say refused because that's a strong word, but declined to take the mango. And then we were just like, is this guy serious? Because who on God's earth, like, we know you like mango, right? Who on God's earth is going to refuse like a perfectly good mango? Like, you eat everything else. It couldn't be that you're worried about getting tired, because you eat the escovitch fish, you eat the chicken, you eat everything thus far, and it's the mango now you're going to decline. Like, you're not even going to take it home, wrap it up in a newspaper, or, whatever. Even take it home for safe face and then dash it away. And then throw it away. Right? The way this guy was behaving with the mango, like, I will not lie to you, we laughed. Not in front of his face, obviously. But, like, at the end of the day, when we were doing, like, cleanup and debriefing about how the dinner went, like, we laughed. Because I'm like, if it was somebody else, or if it was people who took things more seriously in life, they would have probably been insulted. And, it'd probably have been, like, a cause for friction. But I don't know, maybe we were too carefree in that aspect of life. Like, it was just, laughing spoil. Like, for days, for months, for years after that whole dinner and that experience, like, anytime we're together and we want to remember that experience, we would be like, be careful, will you give your mango too? And it was just like, it's an instant laughing spoil, grung with their laugh, right? And, or sometimes, like, the one person who was, like, most passionate the one person who her love interest or like interest sparked the whole dinner. Like sometimes, like when we bring it up, Laura will like, be careful when you give your mango to. She'll be like, what a waste of oxtail, what a waste of pork. Because long story short, you know, we read up from the dinner that this guy, you know, we don't know what kind of game he was playing, or we don't know if he was playing a game, or we don't know if he was just clueless, naive, oblivious, but, you know, it was clear from the dinner that this guy did not have any serious interest along those lines. Like, as a matter of fact, none of the guys did. Like, after the dinner, there was no follow-up, there was no, you know, can I get your number, or let's do this again, you know, with anybody. Like, there were no pairings. There were no pairings or matches made from that dinner. Like, that dinner, the main purpose it served, I think, was to teach a life lesson. And the life lesson is, be careful who you give your mango to. As I said to you, it was mango season. Anybody from Jamaica know that mango is like a precious fruit. Like, there are people who will hide mango in the house from their family members, you know, and the family members will like go on a scavenger hunt, you know, just based off smell to find the mango. Like, we were even living at a house where on the property they had like a groundsman who would take care of the lawn, who would hoard mangoes for himself, and like, we mess with the stash. And like, we've had the man chase people around the yard because of taking mango. Like, madness, pure madness going over mango, right? Mango is like serious business in Jamaica. It's such a precious fruit. Like, it's not something that somebody would willingly want to part with, unless it's like some gesture of kindness or love or affection, whatever the case is. So the lesson is, be careful who you give your precious fruit to. Be careful who you give your mango to. And if you want to take mango for a symbolism of anything, any situation you put it in, it applies. Whether it's a body part, whether it's your time, you know, your resources, just be careful who you invest your precious fruit in, because it may end up being a situation where you have wasted your precious fruit, or you incur insult during the whole process, right? Well, luckily it was a situation where no fruit was wasted, because obviously if he said no to the mango, there were like 10 other mouths waiting to eat said mango. So, you know, in the literal scenario, there was no precious fruit wasted, but that is the lesson. And I think that is a lesson that we took from it too. Like, because the whole that parting gesture with the mango was symbolic of the entire dinner. Like, we never needed to go through all those lengths to find out if, you know, that one guy was interested in that one girlfriend. All we had to do was to encourage her to have a define the relationship conversation with the guy. And you don't have to be in a relationship with somebody to have a DTR conversation. Even if you're in like a situationship, a flirtationship, an acquaintanceship that is, you know, feeling weird or looking weird, or it's crossing the boundary into something that wants to mirror a relationship, have the conversation, ask the question, okay, you know, I feel this way towards you. Do you feel this way towards me? You know, how do you feel towards anyone else? Like, what is our situation? Let us define this thing, you know. It would have been way better for her to have had that conversation with him than for us to have, you know, I don't want to say it was a waste, because it could never be a waste if right now it's one of my best memories. Like, it was such a moment in time that I will never forget. I think even when I'm old, I will always remember that, because number one, there was a level of daring to it. There was a level of risk taking to it. There was a level of madness to it. And carefree. It was like the epitome of like youthful naivety, and that to me is priceless, you know. So I could never say that was a wasted dinner, or that it was a wasted resource, or that the time spent leading up to it, the actual day of the dinner, I could never say it was a waste. But the lesson, the lesson is there. You know, the lesson, we got the lesson. Hopefully all of us learned it and took it with us throughout life. I know I certainly did. You know, and luckily that didn't happen, because like I was able to have like several DTR conversations after that, like after reflecting on, oh, why go through all of these links when you can just like ask a simple straightforward question. And you know, hopefully this is helping somebody out there. If you're young and you want to pull something crazy like that, you know, who knows, you may end up with a lasting memory that you can look back at and laugh and just really have a good belly laugh about it. Or, you know, you can have a little DTR conversation. Anyways, that is all for the video. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed telling this story. And if you did, give it a thumbs up. Tell a friend, especially if you have like a little young friends. Yeah. The Enkounters is on YouTube, chatting a bag of things. So that's all. Talk to you guys in the next video.